question is to the Minister for Pacific Peoples. Is she confident that taxpayers' money is being spent appropriately at the Ministry for Pacific Peoples?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Andrew Little.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, it is correct that the Public Service Commission was recently brought in to investigate spending by that ministry. The Commission concluded that the spending on a function to farewell the former Chief Executive was inappropriate.
Which ministers, if any, were invited to and attended the farewell party for the outgoing Chief Executive of the Ministry for Pacific Peoples on the 13th and 14th of October 2022 that cost taxpayers almost $40,000?
Mr Speaker, I understand two ministers, at least one former minister and a current minister, attended the event.
Isn't it the case that the only reason the government is now criticising the almost $40,000 farewell party at the Ministry of Pacific Peoples is because it finally came to light through an Official Information Act request?
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, the information that ministers received came as a result of the Public Service Commission investigation into the matter.
Is she aware of any other instances of excessive spending by the ministry, and if so, what are these instances?
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, no, and that ministry has now tightened up its guidelines on its spending.
My question is to the Minister of Transport. How much money has been spent on consultants for Auckland Light Rail and Let's Get Wellington Moving since the 26th of October 2017, and how much money has been spent on construction activities for these projects during this timeframe?
Mr Speaker. The Honourable Grant Robertson.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, I am advised that between 2015-16 and 2022-23, $69.1 million has been spent on consultants on projects within Let's Get Wellington Moving, and $4.6 million has been spent on construction. Since 2017, the Government has spent $58.2 million on consultants for Auckland Light Rail. Main construction works are yet to commence there.
Does the Minister think that Let's Get Wellington Moving has its priorities right when it has spent over $114 million so far and has only been able to deliver a single set of traffic lights in Wellington?
Am I satisfied with the progress of Let's Get Wellington Moving? No, I'm not, Mr Speaker, and that is why we are moving to advance it.
Can he confirm reports that Let's Get Wellington Moving has recently spent over $113,000 on relocating offices? And is it the case that they have failed to get Wellington moving because they've been too focused moving themselves?
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, no, I can't confirm those reports.
Who is correct? Michael Wood and Grant Robertson, who said in January 2022 the government had selected its preferred option of tunnelled light rail from Auckland CBD to the airport, or the Prime Minister, who said yesterday morning that no decisions have been made on the preferred option and route?
We actually think that Auckland deserves a proper mass rapid transit system.
How many more years will it take for Auckland to have a business case for Auckland Light Rail? And is it this government's priority to get Auckland moving or Auckland consulting?
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, our priority is to make sure we'll continue our work on that.
Can the Minister name one single major new roading infrastructure project started and completed under this government?
Mr Speaker, if you just give me a moment here, I'll go to the 17, in fact. Mr Speaker, can we... 17, would you like? Mr Speaker, firstly, Mr Speaker, this may take a little longer than normal reply. State Highway 12, Matakoi, Bridges, Northland, Greeninnes to Tamaki Drive, Shared Path, Pakawai Links, Roundabout, State Highway 10, Taipa Ridge, Edendale Realignment, Mr Speaker, Hawke's Bay Expressway, Waimakariri Bridge Safety and Reliability Improvements, Arahura Bridge, Mr Speaker.
How does he expect New Zealanders to trust a single word from this government on transport when all it has achieved to do is cancel a pipeline of infrastructure projects that has caused congestion, the state of our roads to worsen, and all they've done is build a couple of roundabouts?
Mr Speaker, we will have fully funded and budgeted roading projects, Mr Speaker.
How many of the 553 contracted houses have been completed under the iwi prototype scheme and are now occupied by residents and their whānau?
At the moment we have 70 built.
Point of order, Simeon Brown.
The question was quite clear around how many from a particular program had been delivered, and I didn't hear an answer to that question. I heard about 1,000 for
I'm
something else.
surprised you heard anything. You're kidding, right?
How many, if any, of the houses built through the Māori Housing iwi prototype scheme now house people who were previously on the social housing register? And does this ministry collect that information?
Mr Speaker, as the member knows, I'm not responsible for the social housing register. The minister's over here, and if one day he becomes the Minister of Housing, which I think will be never, he could possibly ask that question. But I'm not responsible for that register, but I am responsible for the iwi prototypes.
Supplementary. How does the minister reconcile that answer with his answer to written parliamentary question 23271 when he states, "I'm advised that Te Puni Kōkiri does not collect information about whether individuals living in houses funded through the Whaikanga Whaioranga were previously on the housing register"?
Good. I'll just do this slowly for the member because I have a lot of aroha for the member, because I'm not the minister responsible.
Supplementary.
Order.
Supplementary.
Supplementary, Tama Potaka.
How many houses, if any, have been built at Ihumātao?
Mr Speaker, and the member who's related to some of those people over there should know better. He's been very patronising and he's learnt too many of the dirty, rotten National Party tricks. I want the old Tama Potaka back, Mr Speaker.